Hello, I'm Steven.
And I'm Rachel.
And we are Flickers. And today we're going to be reviewing It Chapter 2, which we got out of a few moments ago. And just wow. It was everything I was actually hoping it would be, keeping in mind the subject material of the book. Mm-hmm. Also keeping in mind this is a continuation of Chapter 1, which was the first one. So this isn't like a sequel trying to give you more scares and stuff. The material already exists, guys. Mm-hmm. So just go make sure you're going in with the right mindset.
Having seen the first one, you have to have seen the first one.
Yeah, definitely make sure you've seen the first one. But just keep in mind, yes, this is a horror film. This might actually be the first of its kind of an actual legitimate A-rate quality with good, with big name actors, fantastic special effects. Mm-hmm. And a genuinely good, compelling story. Mm-hmm. This is actually a horror epic. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 cents in a moment. Let's go ahead and hear what you thought about it.
First off, I was absolutely blown away by it. The acting, the casting for the adults, the flashbacks to the kids made me appreciate how good the kids are. I forgot how good the kids are, and they're just so phenomenal. And all the focus that they did on the different forms of Pennywise was so cool. I loved all the special effects that they were able to do, and Bill Skarsgård, man, just
he knocked out of the ballpark.
What a legend!
And honestly, I think you don't really get a home run with child actors these days. Maybe a couple of them are good and a couple of them aren't. Well, in Chapter 1, these kids that they chose were just remarkable, and this one jumps back and forth to parts of them trying to remember some parts of that we didn't see in Chapter 1, and seeing just how well, first of all, once again, being remembered how perfectly cast the kids were, but then also seeing how perfectly casted the adults of them were. Yeah. If they had any other people be them, the story would not have worked. Yeah. This is genuine good Hollywood right here that we're actually seeing in a horror film once again. Yeah. Now, I want to go ahead and say, if some people are going into this hey, I'm going for a horror film. That means, guts and gore and continuous jump scares. This is a Stephen King story, guys. So if you've watched any of his other works or read any of his books, he deals with things that kind of hone in right on humanity.
Well, he's more about the thematic elements. Exactly.
So this movie has genuinely very edge of your seat, suspenseful, and horrific moments. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you're following these incredibly well-written characters through this journey while they're trying to come to the conclusion that we end up seeing unfold in front of us, which once again is just remarkable. It's having seen the Tim Curry one, which I love. Yeah. The ending of it wasn't really. It wasn't really good. I hate to say it, and it's the same as the book, and maybe some people might think that the book didn't have the best ending, which you'll see the movie. But anyways, I do want to say though that you need to go into this movie expecting the fact this is a continuation of the first one. So this is not a sequel, it is a continuation. It's Chapter 2 of the story. Second of all, once again, don't go in expecting blood and guts. It's very bloody. It's very bloody.
And there's definitely a lot of cringy moments where you're like, ugh.
But it definitely follows more into these kids growing as adults, trying to face the trauma they experienced as children,
and regaining who they are.
Yeah, and because of that, once again, it's a compelling story. Yes, it clocks in at 2 hours and 45 minutes, but it holds up the entire time. If anything was trimmed from this movie, it would have taken away from the story.
Well, and it didn't really feel like under 3 hours. It felt like it flowed well, and it felt like you were like, whoa, it's over.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we had a copy of the book, we don't have it out, though. But if you've ever seen the book is this thick. So if they took anything else out of it, once again, it would have taken away from Stephen King's story. Mm-hmm. So the movie does go out there. So, just be ready for that as well. If you're not familiar with the work itself, it goes very, very out there. So be open-minded. Yeah. Be ready. Know that this story has already been told, and now it's finally being told in a fashion that could never been done before. Yeah. That any studio typically wouldn't want to do. And it gave it completely its true justice. Yeah. So with that said, personally, this movie was everything I expected it to be. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see basically an A-grade horror film with A-rate actors, and everything that came from it was it was compelling, it was sad, it was funny, it was genuinely scary at moments, and it was just good. I give it 5 slates out of 5 personally.
And honestly, I'd give it 5 slates out of 5 too. Again, the acting was phenomenal. Again, Bill Skarsgård just is amazing, and
Bill Hader too. Everyone was great.
And then again, the special effects that they were able to do, the flashbacks and everything was just so well done. And honestly, like, even though they kind of went out there with some of the ideas, it didn't feel out of place. Like, it felt like that was supposed to be there, and that was a good part of the story too.
And it's the only thing that makes sense when you're dealing with literally a shape-shifting creature that can literally bend the fabrics of reality around you. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to find out how that thing exists, you kind of got to go out there in order to tell that story. Mm-hmm. So everyone gets their story told. Yeah. So highly recommended. Yeah. If you're cringeworthy of horror films, then maybe, like, if you don't like blood, I would kind of stay away from it. Yeah. But one word of caution: the beginning of the movie is very intense. The beginning of the movie is very intense. There's
definitely a trigger warning. I know I have a lot of friends that this actually would affect. It is really hard to watch, actually, dealing with bullying
and just the cruelty of human beings in general. Yeah. The real monsters in this world. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. But either which way, remarkable movie. Hopefully you guys get the chance to see it. It's opening weekend, so hopefully it has a great run ahead of itself. I'm rooting for it here.
And if you have any questions about the trigger warning, feel free to message me. I would be happy to kind of enlighten you, just to make sure that you're prepared for it. But we don't want to spoil anything for the people that want to go into it blind. Yeah. But don't forget to subscribe, and again, we really highly recommend this movie. We really hope you go to see it.
Yes. And until next time, our next movie, which I believe we'll be catching Hustlers soon, so keep an eye out for that. But until then, we will see you next time, Flickers. Farewell.